Hello, I am going over all your portfolios, and at the heart of your portfolios are asset creation projects. And as I go over all these asset creation projects, I wanted to create a video um, giving you some suggestions on do's and don'ts of how to approach your asset creation project. Uh, some of the in some of the scripts I have been seeing the same mistakes done over and over and over again, and I don't want you to fall into the same traps, and I want you to transcend and find your own style and voice and entrepreneurial or artistic journey. It is your job to find that journey, unleash your talents and creativity, but also it is also your job to identify your journey step by step, make it practical, make it focused for yourself. How will you actually implement this project step by step? Explain it clearly and make it sensible, useful, focused for yourself. For example, let's talk through an example. Mostly, many of you are talking about entrepreneurial projects and you attach some business plans. Um, and one of the biggest mistakes that you do is many of these plans, at least some of them, they talk about the big grand plans. You are writing as if you are a corporate person. You put cost like tens of thousands of dollars, yet you don't explain where you will find this money from. How will you source it? So the biggest thing to consider here is you are starting as one person to this business, and try to write up the things that only you will be doing. Will you be really doing this business? Will you be really creating this business? Then, if you are really going to do it, how will you do it? Step by step, simplify it and make it focused and simple. At this stage, many of the projects fall into this trap. There is like big speak. You talk about complicated terms and big concepts and how much market potential there is and numbers and market research. You delve into these and you put a lot of management business terminology. Uh, Yet you do not explain the simplest thing of what will you be exactly doing here and why are you doing it. Like, you need to start with your story. What do you wish to create here? What do you wish to do here, really? Let's say you are trying to create a restaurant, your own restaurant business. So then, like, you really need to first start uh, putting together your story. Why do you want to open a restaurant? Why is this so critical, important for you? Will you be really doing it? Consider that. If you won't be doing it really, don't put a business plan just telling me about opening a restaurant. It won't be useful for you. I want you to do something that will be practical, relevant, useful for your life, for your career. So if you really want to work as a chef and open your restaurant, then consider the practical steps. Like, for example, I've been reading a project right now, and it talks about liquidity ratios and all these advanced numbers and tens of thousands of dollars of costs. Yet there is nothing about how you will open this restaurant. The basic simples are not there. Let's say the name of the restaurant is even not there. Why didn't you put a name to your restaurant? These are like basic things that you need to consider. There is no menu. Like, how will you open a restaurant without considering creating your menu? That's the most basic thing. You need to think about like how to make this real and implement it in real life. Do you know how to cook? Let's look at the fundamentals, the basis. You know, do you know how to cook? How did you learn it? What type of dishes will you be cooking? Have you invented any new dishes? What kind of titles will you give to these dishes? What kind of niche are you focusing in this restaurant? Where is your unique focus and niche? Will you be partnering or collaborating with others? How will you find the costs? Opening a restaurant is very resource intensive. You have a lot of fixed costs, right? And you need to minimize your costs always as an entrepreneur. If, let's say, you think about big, like many of the big mistakes come from thinking yourself as part of like a big corporate plan. You put these costs of like 10,000, 50,000, all these costs, $100,000. How will you find this money? Like, where does this money come from? Where will you find this investment? Like, are your parents rich? Then explain it. Like make it simple, reasonable, focused, and like make it as if it really like it will really occur. You will really implement this. You will really bring this into real life. You will act as an entrepreneur. If you want to become an entrepreneur and really open up this restaurant, then you have to make it happen on the page, and every detail there has to fit in your imagination and rationality. You will exactly follow this process. But I cannot see that level of crystal clear thinking, simple thinking. Like, where will you be opening your restaurant? In some cases, you don't even specify the location. Like, where will it be? Like, which street? At which part of the city? Which city is this? Why have you chosen this location? Why? What will be the cost? Have you done research about rents there? What type of a rent are we talking about? And can you pay that rent? And what happens if your business does not go as intended? Maybe you need to consider cooking from home and starting with catering, and do this as a, let's say, cloud kitchen, or a kitchen that you run from your own home instead of renting an expensive place. Like, you need to make simple decisions that really matter. How will you go about this step by step? How will you really implement this? Like, make it yours, make it personal, make it relevant, meaningful for you and for your life. That's what it is important. So I don't want lots of big words and bullshitting and all this management terminology and all these acronyms and liquidity ratios and all these big numbers, etc. They don't make any sense if you really don't focus on the fundamentals first. How will you make this happen? How will you implement this? How will you approach it step by step? And you need to put a lot of samples into your work to make it, to convince your case. Imagine that you are presenting at Shark Tank. You are presenting to the sharks. The sharks, they talk, they accept no bullshit. They will question you. So question yourself. Is everything feasible? But are you really excited about this? Can you really imagine, see yourself implementing all these steps and doing this as an entrepreneur? So imagine that you are presenting to sharks or dragons then. Make it simple, specific, and avoid the bullshit. Cut the unnecessary elements. Make it very clear and make it personal. And also convey your passion, enthusiasm. Why are you excited about it? Why is this a huge opportunity for you? What is your story behind it? Why did you start this decision to create this business or this restaurant? Let's talk about the restaurant example. Why are you so keen on this restaurant? Restaurant business is a very tough competitive business. Why do you jump into this crowded space? How will you make your own space? You need to really think strategically about what is unique about what you offer. Maybe you can prepare very tasty meals and dishes. You are very creative. You can invent your dishes in a very specific domain. The more specific, the better. Like, the more specificity you can come up with, the better. Let's say you are creating a restaurant, try to capture shots of your meals. Try to open your Instagram of the restaurant that you will be open. Let's say first start to grow your following and your clients, your customers. Let's say start a blog, an Instagram on your restaurant and the dishes. Give some recipes for your favorite dishes that you are already cooking at home. Let's say you are doing some cookies or some special dishes which are really delicious. Try to sell them online first. Try to make your first sale and report what happened. Have you done any sales? That's so critical. Like you need to learn how to do simple sales. Selling something is not easy at all. It is a very difficult job. So you need to practice this. As an entrepreneur, like how will you sell it really? Have you created a web page and a mechanism that you accept payments, and have you made your first sale? This is the same whatever you do. You will want to create your own ebook. Like then think about how you will do your first ebook sale. Have you sold any? How much did you make? What was the process of establishing that? You need to think in terms of small steps of what is the first simple step. If this were really simple, what would I do? Step by step. And think about all these steps that will help you achieve as an entrepreneur. But you always need to start with baby steps, small steps, and make it really relevant, simple. And you need to always convey your excitement as well. Like find something that you will be really passionate, excited about, and convey that through the pages as you are writing. So there should be some samples, prototypes. How will your, let's say, menu look like? What will be these dishes look like? So, I have read proposals today on cafes, let's say, but there is no information about what type of coffees they will serve or what type of food they will serve. Like these are sort of the basics, and you need to consider these aspects. Like first solve the basics first, and then you can continue on to your long-term strategies if you have any long-term strategies, or delve into numbers. But let's say you are thinking about financial situation. First, make it simple again. What will be the basic costs first? Make it simple. Start in your own kitchen first. And let's say I will do this for 1 year. These will be my costs. And I will sell for this price. Make it simple. I will focus on just 2 products. That's it. 2 meals. That's it. And I will make these as delicious, as simple, as great as possible. And people will be raving about these dishes. And they will tell their friends, etc. So what matters is your story, your passions. Do something amazing, fascinating. Don't try to do everything. Don't create another business which is average and tries to do everything. Like be very hyper-focused, hyper-specific about what you really want to achieve as an entrepreneur. So the more samples, prototypes, web pages, let's say Instagram page, will you open a TikTok about your business? Will you, if you want to target young people, consider doing some short TikTok videos to engage your customers. Maybe you want to teach young people how to prepare tasty dishes with simple ingredients. That is your staple brand, maybe. Then start a TikTok about it and put at least, let's say, a couple of videos on TikTok. Start your journey and show the links of those videos. Whatever you do, let's say you started a YouTube channel about your business. Put the link of that YouTube channel and put some sample videos there. Like put at least a couple of videos. And prepare your visuals, your brand. What will be the name of your business? And how will it look like? What is your mission, vision? How do you put it into words which is really capturing attention? Try to create some sample content as much as you can. Like if you have time, try to create 10 videos about this, different recipes, different videos, and upload them and share them on the internet. Make it happen. Share it with the world and see what happens. Grow your audience. So growing your audience is much more important at this stage to start your business or your project. First, use capture attention. You have to learn how to capture attention, grow your audience, and then you can, when that audience trusts you, then they will buy from you. And that's a later stage. So always keep it simple and start with the basic elements that will really make it happen. Okay? And always talk about your own story. Why are you doing this? What is your story? Personalize it, own it, and show your excitement, show your own unique voice. Why are you the right person to do this in this world and not anybody else? Like, make your story hyper specific. Then it'll be much better. Avoid all the cliches, generic terms. Don't try to do everything at once. Don't try to use things because they sound good. And don't like in my case, don't focus on references, etc. I don't care about references. I really care about how you will make this journey relevant, meaningful for yourself, for your life. Like, this project is not about your academic writing. No, not at all. This is all about your excitements, following them, finding your own voice, conveying them. So I don't want you to really worry about any references, etc. You don't need any references. Like, if there are some internet links or samples that inspire you, some videos, books, etc., you can share them, of course, as resources. And how you tell about how you are inspired by them, that's perfectly acceptable. But don't worry about making this as an academic article. This is not an academic article. This is all about your life, your passion, how you will unleash your talents and use your creativity, visualize, and talk to the future and come up with a vision that will be exciting. You want to make a positive change, a small dent in the universe, in your world, through your initiative, through your hyper-specific, small initiative. That's how you really need to think about it. How do you want to change the world? Think of it as a microcosm. Start with simple steps, but make these steps very accurate, simple, step-by-step illustrators. If you can visualize this journey, then try to visualize it. Do you want to use videos or samples, catalogs, brand logos, brand work that you have created, anything that you're passionate about, put them into your work, so that the more details you can think of and the more details that you can put into the pages, the better you will be closer to reality, making it happen. The more hyper-specific you can dream about, the more chances that you have to really make it happen. So these are my suggestions to you. I know I wanted to tell you these, and these are very critical because I see that you, like many of you, are falling into these same traps, like all big words and all these big numbers, as if you're writing as if you are part of a corporation. No, this is your one-person journey. If you want to collaborate with others, specify who they might be. Maybe you will find a friend who has complementary skills, but in what way? If you need money, say it so. How much money will you borrow, or where will you find this money from? Like, make it very simple, tangible, specific, hyper-specific. And then you have a much better story. Rather than this advanced jargons and that don't go anywhere. Like, these are much simple, much more, and they are really about your journey. We are interested in your journey as a person. Whatever you do, make it relevant, meaningful for you, for yourself. Thank you very much. I hope if you follow these rules, I think your projects will be much better and much higher quality. And I wish you best of luck in preparing your asset creation projects based on these suggestions. Thank you very much.